Hey guys, this is Maddie from the Texas A&M University Department of Entomology, and I am here today to talk to you all about thermal regulation and the spotted lanternfly. The spotted lanternfly is an insect species native to China, Vietnam, and other parts of East Asia, but is quickly becoming an invasive pest in North America, specifically the Northeast United States. This video is designed to provide some insight into the world of spotted lanternflies and why they won't just go away after one summer. What is an invasive species? An invasive species is any animal or plant that has migrated from its natural habitat to another part of the world and now also lives there. There are many instances where invasive species are relatively harmless, but if the migrated plant or animal does too well in this new habitat, this can cause severe problems for the ecosystem. For instance, European honeybees migrated to North America during colonial times, and because they had no natural predators to help keep European honeybee colonies in check, these invaders quickly outcompeted North America's native pollinators for food sources and shelter. Many of North America's native pollinator species are either extinct or endangered today because of European honeybee colonies. What is thermoregulation? Thermoregulation is an umbrella term that describes the multitude of processes that insects go through to help them adapt and survive extreme temperatures by maintaining homeostasis. Insects are ectothermic, like reptiles and amphibians, which means that they do not have internal structures that are dedicated to maintaining temperature constants like humans do. An insect could never run a fever, for instance. However, insects have evolved to exhibit other behaviors that help them use their environment in advantageous ways. For instance, behavior changes such as basking, seeking shelter, and posture changes are seen in many species. Insects bask in the sun, similarly to reptiles, in order to absorb warmth when needed. In conditions of extreme heat, insects may seek shelter from the sun instead. Some insects even have the ability to use body positioning to control exposure to temperature extremes. Other insects may develop to use coloration to retain more heat. Many bugs have dark pigmentation because it helps them retain heat. Insects also have set temperature tolerance ranges where they are able to operate effectively, and many insects enter a period called diapause once those temperature tolerance ranges are challenged. Diapause is when an insect exhibits hibernation-like traits to survive extremely low temperatures in temperate zones or extremely high temperatures in tropical dry seasons. Some insects make adjustments to their metabolism functions, mimicking endothermal organisms. Certain insects have been known to demonstrate rapid muscle contractions that resemble shivering in a process known as thermogenesis. Thermogenesis is used to generate a heat source for many insects, as well as maintain an energy source. The spotted lanternfly, or Lycorma delicatula, is a plant hopper species that originates from China, Vietnam, and India. Belonging to the family Fulgoridae, the insect has made its way to the northeastern United States and is causing severe damages to the ecosystem there. This was discovered first in 2014 in Pennsylvania and has since spread to neighboring states such as New York, New Jersey, and several others. The spotted lanternfly causes the majority of its contribution to ecological disaster through the feeding habits this species uses. Lanternflies are sap feeders, and while they traditionally feed on sick or dying trees in their native homeland, they have elected to feed on any and all trees in their new habitat. The process these insects use to retrieve the sap is invasive, as they pierce the phloem of the tree to siphon up nutrients. This can cause trauma and stress to victimized plants, and many times makes these trees more susceptible to disease and other negative impacts. One of the functions that helps this species survive so well in its invaded environment is thermoregulation. Spotted lanternflies have employed many tactics that help them survive the harsh winters of both their native China and North America. Firstly, spotted lanternflies have been observed to engage in basking to absorb more heat during the cooler months. Some scientists also theorize that the dark black and bright orange color on the lanternfly's wings helps these insects retain more heat as well. Darker colors are known to help insects retain heat more effectively. Another angle of thermoregulation that helps lanternflies survive the cold season is life cycle timing. Spotted lanternflies are typically more active during the warmer months, and their tolerance range of temperature is typically set with an upper limit of 104 degrees Fahrenheit and a lower limit of 50 degrees Fahrenheit. While this tolerance range does not bode well for the insect's survival in the harsh Pennsylvania winters, their strategy of when to reproduce helps put the next generation in a favorable spot. Lanternflies do not undergo diapause like most insects, but they do, however, have a very specific strategy around egg laying. Spotted lanternflies will lay their eggs in the fall, as these insects are much more resilient against colder temperatures and will be protected from many predators due to the cooler months. Then in the spring, the eggs hatch, and the next generation continues the cycle. Now you may be asking, why is all of this so important? It's important to learn as much as we can about invasive species so that we can figure out the best methods to eradicate them. Learning about the thermoregulation habits of the spotted lanternfly helps biologists figure out how to target this pest in ways that are effective. For instance, conservationists can target areas where lanternflies may gather to bask in the colder months and collect insects before they are able to reproduce. Or they can find egg masses and destroy them before spring. It is up to everyone to protect our environment, and the best way to do that is through knowledge. Thanks, and Gig'em.